This is the MTPredictor weekly update, and let's first take a look at the Dow Futures contract here. And we see we came into that decision point area, and we said, one or two things will happen here. We'll get some consolidation. We got that first reversal bar outside of the decision point area. They're going to have to get a close above that, and then take that out for us to get a continuation up to potentially the weekly. This happens to be this decision point we calculated off this prior high here, which was also the high on the weekly chart. We can calculate a decision point off that. I'll show you that in a minute. So we did got a close above that on this day, and then a few days later they actually did take that high out, this high here, out by a couple of ticks here on the 15th. And still more in consolidation mode, but they were able to trade higher last week. And here's, I think, the Globex Open tonight. And so we'll see if the strength continues. In fact, our STF, or a strong trend filter here, told us that there may be more upside here as the oscillator came into the gray band up here at top and has exceeded that, telling us there may be more strength ahead in this market. So the thing we'll take a look at as well is, here's the NQ, the NASDAQ futures here, and you can see this decision point. I'll clear it off just for you. Again, we can calculate, right click. I'm going to select this prior swing high here, and it gives us a decision point. It tells us this is an area where if the market does take out that high, and the NASDAQ, this tends to be the foot soldiers for the rest of the market. So the NASDAQ has taken out that prior high where the Dow has not yet. So these are the foot soldiers. They've come in, and the market wants to test this to see, before it sends the big boys in, the S&P and the Dow in here. They're going to test with the NASDAQ and see, does the NASDAQ get chewed up in here, or does can they continue to push through this area here and give the okay sign for the rest of the market to follow. So we'll see. The interesting thing now that's been happening last week, we had a couple of, I'll just bring up the Dow Futures here. This is the Dow Cash. We've seen a couple of days, a few days last week, where the bond market actually was moving up with the stock market. Okay, it's been said that the bond market traders are the smartest traders of all. And when we start to see things like that, in other words, what is it that, why are they buying into the bonds? Is there something they know as they, the stock market continues to move higher? What are they getting ready for? Just a question that you've got to ask yourself when you see the bond market moving up with the stock market, okay? So you can see here's the weekly chart of the Dow. You can see where as the NASDAQ has come into its decision point, taking out that prior high, the Dow has not yet. So we'll see what happens with the NQ and with the Dow here, if they can take out this prior DP here on the weekly chart and then come into this next decision point resistance that starts right around 11,455 in the Dow, up through this high end of that area around 11,213 or so. And we'll see once again if they can get outside this area and continue higher, or if they are able to come up here, if it fails there. So we're into the middle of October here, and well, towards the actually the last half of the month anyway, and we'll see what happens. Again, we've got some signs that there is internal weakness in the market. We see that bonds are moving higher with the stock market on some of these days. So again, be careful up here. Be cautious. The trend may still be up as far as the daily chart goes, but things can change in a hurry. The other thing is, we do have a full slate of economic data this week from the existing home sales and durable goods, jobless claims. You got GDP on Friday, so every day this week there's a decent piece of news, economic data that's coming out. So just be aware of that as you if you're trading in intraday on those days. And other than that, we'll take a look at the market again next week and see what we've got.